Thomas and myself are here. So let's start with item number one, Tammy Behrman from the Planning Department. Hi, Tammy.
Good morning. Is it easiest if I share screen to go over a text amendment that I want to share, or you want to follow along in the packet?
It's easiest for me with you sharing.
Okay,
That way
I
the
can share
public can
screen.
see it also.
All right. Oh, I don't know if that worked or not. Hold on. Okay, I'll be having to look at my other screen though. Okay, so I am here to present a Chapter 803 zoning ordinance text amendment for pre-existing non-conforming uses. And the first one that we were going to do was under Chapter 803-2 non-conforming parcels and structures, Part D. Basically, what's proposed is that non-conforming parcels and or structures under subsection D just specifies that, however, if the legal pre-existing non-conforming structure is within a special flood hazard area as specified in Chapter 808, then compliance with the flood damage prevention Chapter 808 applies. And this is just for pre-existing non-conforming structures damaged by a flood in those special flood hazard areas. We are legally required to make sure that they comply with Chapter 808, which is an ordinance that is given to us by the state Department of Natural Resources so that we can maintain our status in the National Flood Insurance Program. So this is just kind of adding this language is to clean up the ordinance a little bit, to make sure that people aren't confused, that think that if they do happen to be in a special flood hazard area, their house is damaged, that they can just put it right back where it would belong, just because we do use this section for fires, tornadoes, things like that, wind damage. But in a flooding situation, there are some requirements that we need to follow. So that's that first section. The second portion that we're recommending is under I. We're proposing to strike the first part of the sentence saying that areas outside of the former city of Bloomington planning and zoning jurisdictional area, we would just like this section to apply to the entire county jurisdiction and not delineate those two sections. And then under that same subsection 2, we're asking that if a non-conforming dwelling is a mobile home or manufactured home, that it may be replaced by another manufactured home. We are striking mobile, and we are also striking without regard to the 25% increase in floor area. So what that is saying is if you have a mobile home and you would like to expand it, that you would need to replace it by putting in a manufactured home, which is a home that's built after 1974 and has a stamp from the Housing and Urban Development Organization. That is considered to be the best practice and is safer for people residing in those types of structures. And it's something that we're just asking as a part of this text amendment. Does anyone have any questions regarding the proposed text amendments?
I don't. Commissioner Thomas?
No.
No. It seems to make sense. Mr. Cockrell.
Oh, sorry. And I was maybe going to take a small opportunity next week during the meeting to do just a brief presentation about floodplain administration and demonstrate to people where they could find their flood maps and maybe obtain information on flood insurance program. If that would be all right, that I took a minute or two.
I think that would be an excellent educational opportunity.
Yeah, I had actually asked if she would do that. So thank you for considering it. Do you want to do it during our regular session though, instead of the work session
Next week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's when I'm not prepared to do that today. I was just bouncing the idea off of you, and I'll have a couple of slides put together to present during that time.
That'd be really good. I know we have a really low percentage of county residents, or low number. It's not, it's so small, it's percentage is too much. a low number of county residents, a very small number of county residents who have flood insurance.
We only have,
And,
it's 107 policies that we have for flood insurance.
in the entire county.
In the entire county, and then only 33 of those are within a zone A, which is a special flood hazard area designation. So yeah, to
Wow.
get the word out would be beneficial.
Well,
I think so.
I know years ago when I tried to buy flood insurance for my own home, my insurance agent didn't even know how to write it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it may be useful to think about putting together a PowerPoint with an audio recording to put on our website for somebody who wants to be walked through where to find things and
Agreed.
in addition to coming and talking about it. And now that we've talked about it today, maybe if people have questions, they can be prepared to ask them then too. So that'd be great. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank
Great
you.
idea. Yeah. Okay.
107.
Yeah, 107. How many thousands? Okay, let's move on to the item with Ms. Kelly from the Health Department. You wanted to amend Chapter 350 about campgrounds?
Yes, good morning again. So just wanted to bring this to your attention. The Health Department has conducted this review of the campground codes. The primary focus of this has been to better align the county codes with the state code. Some of the majority of the code revisions really are just done to be able to reflect that state code. And it's eliminating a lot of the repetitive language that's currently in the codes. I have Ms. Cheyenne Cox here with me today to be able to answer any questions that you might have in regards to this as well.
We can't hear your colleague. She was muted. Could you walk through just a little bit of what those changes look like?
Yeah, of course. Hi, I'm Cheyenne Cox. I'm the environmental health specialist for the wastewater section currently. So most of the code changes are changing the definitions to better reflect the current state code, which is 410 IAC 6-7.1. And then the other major changes are in regards to how the requirements for inspections during campground season. The state already conducts inspections for campgrounds. And so we're just changing our code to reflect that the state will conduct the inspections, but the county health department is still allowed to inspect should there be any complaints in the area.
Okay, very good. Commissioner Thomas?
Yeah, so in essence, what we're doing is we're ensuring that our local ordinance complies with the recently passed state legislative changes. Is that correct?
No,
Does this have anything to do with that?
The legislative changes with the state is in regards to the residential on-site sewage code, HB 1245. We were doing a general code review because of HB 1245 and chose to update our campground code to better reflect the current state code also.
Okay, thank you.
Hitting 2 birds with 1 stone.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cox. Will you be bringing this back next week to the commissioners' regular meeting and have it on our agenda?
Yes.
Very good. Very good. I look forward to seeing it then. Thank you. Okay. And next item, I believe Ms. Purdy has something to share with us.
I do. Commissioners, I'm actually going to request that you approve this grant agreement. This is an ongoing agreement that we have had with the NDOT, and it's regarding our rural transit. And the grant that we have, you've actually approved the grant applications previously. This, however, is a capital expenditure where we have been awarded $278,200 in federal funds. This grant is what's termed a federal pass-through, and then we pass it through again to Area 10 and of rural transit in currently in Ellisville. And this grant will run from 1/1/23 to 12/31/26. It includes 6 vehicles. This is for a bus replacement. However, this is actually kind of, they've actually rolled over past funds that were unable to be expended because of a lack of vehicles. So their rural transit is hoping that these vehicles will be available, but there is no promise that they will be available. But they do have the grant funds should they become available. Clear as mud?
So do we need to
I can make,
pass?
I can make a motion, but I do have I'll make the motion first and then, move approval of the rural transit, pass-through grant from NDOT, $278,200, January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2026.
I'll second that.
Now my question, that those 6 buses are not the same 6 buses that we just did ARPA funding for, right? Or is it?
I have no idea. I would think
I
that the
mean, this is
ARPA would be
additional
different
because
from those
Because
buses.
this is a pass-through from NDOT.
Right, this is a totally
NDOT
different.
paying for 6, so they're gonna have 12 buses.
I would think that's the actual, yes, I would think that's what's going to happen. I actually think they're down.
They're way down.
Much
Oh, I know.
more than
12 would be,
12, right.
12 would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Especially 12 that operate
Yeah,
reliably.
yeah, 12 that, yeah, 12
Oh,
that
they're
run.
actually run.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do I need to take public comment at work sessions too? Is
Yep.
there any public that would like to comment on this motion? I see Mr. Yeah, I seconded. Mr. Shelton, what was it that you wanted to say?
Just as a CASA, I want to, well, actually from the chamber too, encourage you to approve this. As you know, transportation is very important for the business community. And I've been a CASA for about 10 years, and a number of times the parents of the child that I have been advocating for have been very limited in their job opportunities by virtue of living in the county and not having transportation. So I think this is a great thing, and I encourage you to approve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for always being on top of things too, Mr. Shelton. Seeing no other commenters, call for a vote on the grant agreement for pass-through from NDOT for rural transit in the amount of $278,200. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 2-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's good news. Okay, great news.
So the item I'd like to bring forward is, I'd like to make a motion to amend our ordinance 2022-52. This is an ordinance we passed at the very end of December, and this is an effort to clarify some things and to resolve some issues regarding that the Women's Commission, this is about the Women's Commission membership, have regarding quorum. And this is what Ms. Washington was talking about this morning. So here is the revision. In section 230-2, membership and terms, the commission shall have 7 members who shall represent diverse, where did I write it down at? Diverse backgrounds and interests, including but not limited to, et cetera. That's one amendment. The second amendment is in section A, that there will be 4 resident members chosen by the Board of Commissioners. In section B, that there will be 3 resident members selected by the County Council. In section C, the word ex officio, 1 ex officio member. The word ex officio needs to be, that will be for the Board of Commissioners or an employee chosen by the Board of Commissioners, and the same change in section D, 1 ex officio member. So ex officio members do not are not necessary for quorum. They certainly can attend and have input at meetings. I just want to review one more thing before I say I'm done. Hold on. And that's the end of my motion.
Well, I believe that,
Need a second.
I'll second it. And I believe that Ms. Molly Turner King has written this up as ordinance 2023-03.
Thank you so much. So I will amend my motion to reflect the correct number.
That it will,
2023-03.
yes,
Thank you.
yes. And I'm glad that we're able to respond to the community in this way.
Yes.
And Mr. Cockrell, did you have anything to add?
I do not. I guess I would just add that, well, I would suggest that we at least look at it to put it on as for ratification next week, just to see if there's any things with. I haven't had a chance to look at it, so I wanted to make sure that, you know, if we see something in there that we think may need to be a typo or something like that, that we reserve the ability to put it on for ratification for that purpose.
Okay. You're very strict with us. Okay. That works. That's fine with me. So, is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, call for a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0, and we'll see it back next week for ratification. Is there any other item for our work session today? Seeing none, we will adjourn and we'll see people next week. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.